This premium episode of Watch Out for Fireballs is brought to you by our patron, Moonborne. If you'd like to be a patron, you can go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. Not only do you support your boys, but you can also sponsor an episode like Moon did. And you get to hear this whole episode. This is a preview kind of deal. We do one of these a month. If you patronize us for just $5, you get all of them. And it's almost, it's like a year and a half. It's like 18 of them, more than a year and a half. And some of our best episodes are in there. And it is okay if you patronize and then you have to duck out because of COVID reasons or any reasons at all. We designed it that way. So thank you, Moon, and thank you, patrons.
Let's rock, baby.
My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Cole Ross.
And you're listening to Watch Out for Fireballs. It is a Games Club podcast.
And this week we are talking about Devil May Cry, which is a character action game developed and published by Capcom for the PlayStation 2 in 2001.
Will the devil cry?
We don't know.
And we'll never know.
No.
According to the end of this, never cry, but that is not canon. This episode is executive produced by Slack Stalwart, Moonborne.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Moon. We appreciate you.
Yeah. And this is a pretty big one. I think that we had this, we had both wanted to cover this at different times, in the past, because it's a pretty important game. At least as regards, 3D action, the way that works.
It's rare that we do things that are arguably progenitors of a genre.
Right.
I'm sure that, there first is a curse word online because there's always somebody who's going to be like, well, this Amiga game actually has elements of this, blah, blah, blah. But one of the first big successful character action games that we have. In this, you play as an absolute dweeb named Dante.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? He's the coolest in the world.
Incredo dweeb, who is a demon hunter who's half human, half demon. He's like Rainn Wilson in the video dating service thing for Tim and Eric describing car lore.
Oh, yeah.
Who has wings like an angel's, but also like a devil's. Carlo can fuck anything and will and has. It is exactly as impotent and sexless as car lore. In this, you're hired to travel to a castle on Mallet Island or Malay Island to stop an archdemon named Mundus from returning to the world.
Yes. And like we kind of alluded to, this is the first character action game, it just yes, this does take inspiration from a bunch of other things, but it is considered to be kind of the progenitor. Kind of because of its creator, Hideki Kamiya, kind of assigning it the name stylish action or whatever, or extreme action is another thing that this is generally called. Basically like a 3D new kind of beat 'em up with a deeper combo based combat, than 2D beat 'em up games would have. Kind of an emphasis on difficulty and just kind of constant and strict scoring in a real kind of arcade kind of way.
Yes. Yeah. This is the, senpai, please tell me if I'm ever so good.
Yes.
Kind of genre.
Grade me, evaluate me. I'm good and ever so stylish.
I'm ever so stylish. I'm ever so S rank. I've also seen Spectacle Fighter. used for this, which is, and this isn't the first, this is the third one of these we've covered. So think Bayonetta and God Hand are later games in the genre that we covered. Your dweeb has a number of swords and guns available, as well as flaming gauntlets, that you can get. It's kind of less than you might expect. You end up with a fairly limited inventory in this, and they're all pretty differentiated. The game plays in full 3D, but without any control over the camera. And the camera is what I think of as the Code Veronica compromise.
Yeah.
Fixed camera angle that also moves. So it gives you a little bit of that Resident Evil fixed camera angle cinematic steez, but it will also follow you down a hallway or adjust angles and such.
Yeah. And we just kind of rattled through a few different things. The fact that you do not get as many weapons and moves as you would expect. The fact that the camera, kind of behaves like a compromise from previous things. I think that it would do us well to really kind of get out of the way early on that this is a transitional product.
Extremely transitional.
Right.
This is, what the TV tropes, men and women call early installment weirdness.
Yeah.
They were figuring it out. And one of the, theses, I was trying to think of ways to, we're early on, but I was trying to think of ways to approach this critically because I came away from it just being this is fine. And just feeling fine, and trying to think of it. And one of the things that I thought of is that this makes, and I'm sure this is later in the notes and we'll talk about this at length, makes such an interesting companion to Resident Evil 4 because I feel like Resident Evil 4, also kind of birthed the genre, but that genre got worse.
Right.
As it went on, and this genre got better. This was a starting place that is a little, pretty rough for this specific subgenre, playable and fine, but pretty rough. And then they refine this and refine this and refine this until eventually now this is the highly technical, platinum, kind of thing that it is now.
Yeah.
And then Resident Evil 4 birthed the entire over-the-shoulder third-person shooter, but all of them just immediately forgot the lessons of Resident Evil 4
right.
and got kind of dumb.
I finished Resident Evil 4 and I am very reticent to play anything that is a third-person shooter after it. I don't know, chances are it's going to be a step downward. I played this and I was shit, I don't know, I'll play a couple of missions at Devil May Cry 3. That's a good, fun game.
I'm this is one of those things. I'm sure it gets much better. Everyone, this is in the rich watch out for fireballs tradition of us covering the first in a series and it not being the best one.
Right.
And then people being you guys got to cover this one. So it's one of those games.
Yeah. But I did not feel the way that I felt about this the first time that I played it. I only really have these criticisms seeing the way that they have smoothed things over, made things a little bit more fluid, etc. down the line. There's been a lot of iteration in this formula, largely from a lot of the staff that made this game, really, or were associated with it, right?
Other chances at the bat.
Yes. Yeah. So it is in full 3D. You can either free roam and do your tappa combos, or you can do a lock on to different enemies, and this gives you access to a couple of different attacks that kind of depend on pressing forward or backward in relation to where Dante is pointed. Just makes things a little bit more precise for you.
Yes. No. You can also, and this is another early installment thing. Guns in later entries in this series, my understanding, and then also in Bayonetta, are basically there to keep combos going, are not there for damage. In this, you can switch between melee and gun attacks, and both are very viable. The guns do less damage, but later you get really serious guns. And these are largely used not to keep combos going necessarily, but to fill up something called your devil trigger. Which we will talk about later. But I ended up using the grenade launcher in this a lot.
Yeah, the grenade launcher is like a can opener for bosses.
Yeah. And it just, in later games, my understanding is that ranged weapons are really kind of an afterthought.
Yeah, they're a little bit backseated, specifically in 3, where the different kind of stances that you would take end up being a little bit more prominent, a little bit more foregrounded, and only one of those relates to or emphasizes gunplay. Right. Yeah. So your special moves that you have access to generally, are there to help you close the distance between you and the enemies. Stinger is the name of that one. Or they kind of lock your enemies out of being able to attack you. High time, which is where you can, hike an enemy up into the air, and kind of like focus them, keep them off the board while you're doing damage to them.
Yeah. Juggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a bunch of these. So, many of them are, mobility, like you said. Some of them are just more damage, with like slower wind up. So they kind of take the place of a traditional strong attack, from time to time.
Yeah.
And the way that the evaluation, there are two levels of evaluation happening at all times in this game, like a stage-based and a scene-based kind of evaluation, which the game calls your stylishness, ranking you from D to S, which is above A. And there are, adjectives that begin with these things. So dull is the worst one. S is the best one. And the way you do this is by varying your attacks, specifically this, mode of ranking. I don't think not being hit does as much for this part. I think that's your end stage.
So being hit will knock your it will do like a demerit on you for your
it knocks you down to dull, and then you build back up.
Yeah,
it's not being hit is a huge factor in the second evaluation.
Yes. Yeah. No, like in order to maximize that, you pretty much have to do a no hit run.
And what this does on individual enemies is determine how much currency you get from them. So you can, or if you taunt, you can boost this as well. This is how many red orbs you get from enemies. And then at the end of each mission, you're rated basically on time and whether you got hit, which also impacts red orbs.
Yes.
There is a, dissonance in this game that is common in video games, but I really noticed it in this, of the less you need a boost, the more likely you are to get it.
Yep.
In this form.
Yeah.
And I don't like, I'm not saying that Devil May Cry is unique in this. This happens a lot in video games.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Right.
I don't like this kind of scoring for games where like so much of my efficacy was based on being able to buy moves. I was less likely to buy moves when I played worse. If I practiced and played better, I ended up getting moves that didn't require me to play as well. That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like as a reward.
Weird crossed incentives are happening there. Yeah. I definitely noticed the same thing. Also something I didn't realize is that the like per scene rating that you have going on, like your dull to stylish, is basically the you rappin' meter from Parappa the Rapper.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it does determine if you're rapping.
Yeah.
If you indeed be rapping. There's also this dull thing is frustrating to me because there are enemies that can only be hit with what seems like one move.
Right,
really.
right.
And it's like, look, stop calling me dull.
Yeah.
Like you're the one who put this Cage Reaper here. I didn't put it here. I have to jump attack him, you fucking idiot. I'm not dull. What else am I supposed to do? He doesn't get on the ground.
I'm doing what is required of me.
Yeah, it's not dull.
Yeah.
Stop yelling at me.
Yeah. So, something else that's a little bit frustrating, especially if you haven't played this particular entry in the genre or series in a while, is that in trying not to be hit, you will notice that you don't really have a defensive vocabulary here. You're gonna find this to be really, really stiff, or at least I did. And the real big culprit here is the lack of a dedicated dodge button. I fired up Devil May Cry 2 because I never played that and I wanted to see what people hate. Seemed fine to me in the early going. But I was immediately relieved to see circle is dodge. Okay, cool. Now I can work with that. Devil May Cry 1, you do have like a dodge roll to the side, but it is really, is dependent on you being locked onto the enemy and having your guns out.
Yeah. Yeah, making your dodge a modal thing is really frustrating.
Yeah,
and it ties into that thing with the orb economy, because I felt like double jumping was basically necessary.
Yes,
to not take damage in a lot of these situations,
and that is very costly.
it's very costly. I had to unlock that. I wasn't good at unlocking it because I wasn't no-hitting these stages. Like, it has that Capcom DNA of it wants you to do the thing over and over and over until you master it.
Right.
But instead of rewarding you with an unlimited rocket launcher or new outfits, it rewards you with basic verbs you need to play the game, really.
Yeah.
You know, in a way that's not a verbal flaw. Again, I think this game is fine.
Yeah.
I was pretty frustrated by it, and I really wanted that dodge.
Yeah.
You know, desperately wanted that dodge or a parry or anything.
Yes.
You know, that was like there's kind of like half measure versions of these things, but they're not very good.
Yeah. So I desperately missed that. At the very least, it will illustrate exactly how necessary that is to this kind of action, to this kind of 3D, because running in circles and jumping to dodge things while Benny Hill music plays, that ain't it, Chief.
It's weird. It's like, it's so uncool. Like, you know, for a genre that the point of this is to make you feel cool.
Yeah.
And I'm not, and, you know, this segues well into the next point. In no way am I or are we claiming this is the only way to play the game or the right way to play the game.
No.
You know, I played through it on normal. You unlock, you can play hard from the beginning. You unlock something called Dante Must Die, which is a series, stalwart, after you beat the game. And that a lot of people are like, this is the only way to play the game. It comes live, and I did watch a lot of Dante Must Die, kind of let's play to kind of see it. And it's a huge difference. It's not just bigger numbers. It's different encounters, entirely different, like enemies are introduced much earlier. It is really significantly different.
Yeah.
I had like less than zero interest in doing that though. It didn't sound appealing to me at all.
And I never do. Like whenever a game offers that kind of thing, I'm not gonna really go for it. It's just not what I play these games for.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of mastery mindset versus a getting through it and getting to a new experience mindset is one of the, you know, gamer psychographic divides.
Yes.
You know, it plays really well hand in hand with my Rock Band metric of not wanting to master a song, just wanting to get through it and move on to the next song because new songs are fun.
Yes. You
know, as opposed to what if I got this on absolute hardest mode and got perfect? Like, that is impressive.
Yeah.
But I could also listen to a new song. You know, that'd be cool.
Yeah. You know, and so like, yes, the biggest fans of this game and these games will say like, yeah, you know, like you really need to play it on Dante Must Die mode. I still felt like I had a very good experience playing it on normal with just I want to get to the next thing, like not caring if I only pulled back, you know, C's and maybe like an A at the highest, maybe like an easy mission. That doesn't, you know, like I don't feel like that I got, you know, a bad experience playing it that way. And really none of my complaints have to do with like the difficulty tuning. It was just about like these particular rough shakes kind of things that happen with, you know, the growing pains. Again, this is a traditional product or a transitional product, right?
Yeah. Well, there's also, they give you some difficulty mitigation stuff in this. Yeah. Like once you cease to care about score, it's frustrating because you'll be poor throughout it. Like you won't get currency if you don't care about being graded. But, all of the items in this game are very powerful. Item tanking stuff that was annoying to me was my go-to strategy when I hit a wall and wanted to see the next thing rather than like practice for a really long time.
Yes. Like
this didn't give me the same feelings that like even the best Dark Souls games do when I want to just practice something to get through it. And, you know, people who listen to the network know that's not like why either of us really play Dark Souls either. You know, that's not our all consuming thing. Yeah. So like, yes, I could beat Madeira if I tried hard enough. Yes, I could do Dante Must Die if I tried hard enough on this, but it's not
I'm playing other things. There's lots of good games.
Yeah, I'm doing other stuff instead.
Yeah.
I'm still reading the Lords of Magic manual. Give me a break. In order to be successful, you need to use something called your Devil Trigger. One of the big, also just so it's noted, one of the big things in Dante Must Die is the enemy has Devil Trigger, which looked like an absolute fucking nightmare.
Yes.
But you use something called Devil Trigger. This is like a meter that fills up a little bit like a limit break instead of being one move, you do like a limit break. It is a different state.
Yes.
You can fill this up by doing damage or by taunting. And when you fill this up, you become more demon-y.
Yes. You kind of like invoke one of these 2 demons. There's a 3rd demon available for the final boss fight. We'll talk about that when we get there. I had completely forgotten that Kamiya did the what is it, the Space Harrier, shoot 'em up. Before Bayonetta, I'd gobsmacked, Gary. Gobsmacking.
Yeah. I forgot about it. Well, not as hard as I forgot about the water section, but I did forget about the ending.
Yeah. But yeah, you become one of 2 demons, either Alistair, who is lightning powered, or Ifrit, who is flame powered. And when you are in Devil Trigger, your attacks and defense get much more powerful, and you can execute these, more powerful regular attacks and transformation attacks, where you either transform and run into the enemy, do like a melee kind of thing, or stand back and fire orbs at them.
Yeah, so if you like orbs, this game does have a lot of orbs, even though they are not shaped like orbs.
Nope, they're shaped like screaming faces. Yep.
You also get your health back on any difficulty except for the highest ones, which is my main use for it.
Yeah.
And this does create like a really nice kind of flow between attacking and healing, naturally, that I appreciated. It's really important for boss fights.
Yeah.
Where you will go back and forth between activating it and running out and kind of shifting your play style accordingly.
Yeah.
Devil triggering, getting in a lot of damage, then playing a little bit more defensively when your defense is weaker and you need to build that meter back up.
Yeah. It's a fun, push and pull, right? Or tug of war. And I like what it does to the rhythm of the combat. We should talk about bosses. We're going to talk about them in detail when we get to them and the actual thing. We probably should note that this is a premium episode. Normally we say that closer to the beginning, but I forgot to put in a bullet point. So if you're listening to this on the public feed, everybody will get through the generalities here. However, the full episode can be unlocked by going to our Patreon. But broadly about the bosses, before we get into any specifics, I think there are only 3 boss enemies outside of the final encounter. What is it? Phantom,
there are 4.
4. Phantom, Griffin, Nightmare, and Angelo?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
So 5 total bosses, 4 of which you will fight many times, and especially if you decide to do any secret missions, which I immediately fucked out of. Like, I'm like, no, this isn't me.
Gonna cross that off of my to-do list there.
Yeah, I'm all right. I watched a bunch of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just repeated boss fights, and they do get variations either in terms of arena or moveset.
Yes.
Incredibly minor variations.
Yes.
It's, again, I think this game is fine. It's not a horrible flaw. I did, as a novelty, somebody who enjoys novelty in video games, this ended up, again, I can imagine this being a thing where it's like, oh, I want to fight the spider because I want to master the spider.
Yes.
I feel very good once I have mastered spider. And I'm like, I've seen spider. That's enough for me to master.
Yes. I have a pretty good idea of what spider is. I can notionally imagine ways that I could get better. And that to me is pretty much exactly, it's functionally the same for my life as actually putting in the hours to get better at it. Like, I can see how I could do that better. Okay, cool.
I'm going to the zoo. I'm not being a colonialist.
Right.
I don't need to conquer this. I just need to see it and walk past it, really.
Yeah.
So the idea that these were so repeated ended up being a pretty big bummer to me in this. And I didn't remember it at all. Like, we both played this closer when it came out.
Yeah. I loved this game back in the day.
I played on release. I don't remember very much other than like vaguely warm feelings, but it was 20 years ago for me. So it's many people have lived and died in that time span.
Right.
Like it is may as well be infinite years. So I don't remember very much specifically, but I did not remember fighting the same bosses over and over.
Yeah.
That was a new unpleasant surprise to this replay.
And they're fine bosses. It's just,
They're fine.
I wanted more. Yeah.
The dual ones are good. The rest of them are fine.
Yeah.
I don't like Griffin very much. Griffin I find really annoying because it's hard to find opportunities to get in, I feel like.
Yeah. No, those weird little like platforms or whatever they are there. Yeah. Again, it feels a little bit like that they either didn't know what they had or they didn't know, they didn't have confidence that it would be worth investing in to like develop more. like it just kind of says like, yeah, this is a thing in its adolescence. We want to kind of feel it out. So you get 5 bosses. Here you go. Make the most of what you got.
Yeah. And the most of what you got is doing them a bunch.
Yeah.
So just, yeah. So there's that character building economy, which we mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
As you explore, as you fight, you're going to get these red orbs, which are currency experience and sometimes a key.
Yeah.
Which is real weird. And this, you buy new abilities, for your weapons, which, we'll kind of talk about some of those as we go through.
Yeah.
A lot of them are, we mentioned those in generalities. You also buy those consumables and those end up being huge. I did not have any memory of that, but they're really weirdly generous.
Yeah.
Like the invincibility one lasts for a long time.
Yeah.
The kill everything on the screen one does a lot of damage to bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. And some of them are like the kill everyone on the screen thing is like really affordable.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. So
the one thing that I wish that you could carry more than one vitality star, which is like your full heal. That didn't make an awful lot of sense to me. I understand that the actual system is built around this push and pull with your devil trigger and healing. I don't know, it would have been useful, especially because your only other option is to die and have to spend money on these yellow orbs, which act like your continues.
That act like extra lives that continue at a checkpoint, as opposed to continuing at the beginning of a chapter or reloading from a save rather.
Right.
Which you can do. So it's, I agree. Mm-hmm. Like those ended up not being enough. And it plays into that perfectionist mindset. Like you don't want to take damage. Like, of course you can only carry one of those because if you're using one, your rank's going to take a huge hit.
Yeah.
You're already fucked up. Like you're kind of encouraged to consider using healing item a failure.
Yeah.
I feel like in the platonic ideal of this game. To
which I say, don't tell me how to play your game. I don't know if I actually feel that way, but I appreciate I appreciate a low floor and a high ceiling. I think that is the perfect that is the perfect arrangement.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was originally developed as Resident Evil 4. We talked about that a bunch. And it has a lot of holdovers from when it was Resident Evil. Right. That more or less got jettisoned from the series right away.
Right. Yeah. As they figured out what this actually is, so the entire game here, it takes place within and beneath this, island castle complex. You can roam freely around it. You can see like, oh yeah, this, I would have had to go to this room and find this key and bring it back to unlock this particular portcullis or whatever. It appears like it would, play a little bit like a standard Resident Evil with backtracking and stuff. However, it is kind of subdivided into these 23 different missions of widely varying lengths, which really can just break all of that up into vaguely motivated goals. When I say vaguely motivated, I mean vaguely motivated.
I'm going to say this with no sense of exaggeration. Mm-hmm. At no point in this game did I know why I was doing anything.
Yeah.
Like I knew what I had to do. Like
Stop
go
Mundus.
grab the Stop Mundus. And you'd get a little mission thing that was like, grab the crown of scepters to unlock the gate of space-time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, there's a crown of scepters and I got to go grab that. I bet it's forward. And then I'd move forward and if enemy, then good. Mm-hmm. Then I'm going the right way. I'd get the thing. I'd kind of backtrack a little bit, and then do the thing. And then I would just be in a totally new place. And it was like, find the trident of wands to, unleash the spirit of the night. And I'm like, cool, let's do it. Like, whatever. I've never played a game that was more undermotivated than this. Like, something that, I've talked about before on the show is that like, story and narrative and stuff, one of the things that does is exist to give your actions context. Mm-hmm. And I was missing it, and I'm anticipating getting a wedgie for this from people because the idea that caring about anything in this game other than just cool combos and perfecting the fights, is probably not best practices.
It's like caring about the Team Fortress comics. Yeah.
Or caring about the story in porn, like that old canard, right? Mm-hmm. But I do care about that shit. Mm-hmm. And it's not just flavor. Like the flavor in this game is when it's camp, it's funny. When it's serious, it's dumb as fuck. It's not just there it's there to give you a little bit of a reason. And when it's totally lacking, boy, do I miss it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird. Like, there's so many key items in this game, so many doors and locks. Really frustratingly, a lot of them are weapons.
Yep.
Like, I hate that. I'm like, I found a trident?
Cool.
And
oh, wait, it's a replica,
no.
not a weapon. Shit.
Yeah, why are there so many fucking replica weapons in here? What kind of Civil War reenactment nerds own this fucking castle?
If it was
like,
if they played it as a joke, that would be very funny to me. But no, it's just say you've got this trident. You know, just like in Resident Evil, you find a mask that you can't wear because it goes on a thing on a wall.
Goes on a door.
Yeah. Well, what it feels like is a team that had like a particular budget for like spaces. Like, okay, we can have these interiors. You know, we have like roughly these rooms in the castle. You know, and we need to use them a bunch of different times. So what we're going to do is effectively do like a procedurally generated goal where we're going to say, here's where you start, here's where you need to end up, and here's where you need to stop over on the way to get going forward. And when you do it, it's going to give you a new goal and stopover that you have to do. Is what it feels like. It just like it literally just feels like there's like a little telegraph at the end, and it just beep 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 beep. Okay, I need to use the Spear of Anguish on the stained glass window in the cathedral. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge radiant quest energy.
Yeah.
To this stuff, and it's so weird because we'll talk about this as its own bullet point. I'm sure we talk about the tone of this. I was really expecting. Like, I remember this having more camp and story to it. There's 40 minutes of cutscenes in this entire game, and it's like the beginning and the end. Yeah. Like, all the stuff, if you are a big Devil May Cry guy and you're into the camp, it's all in the beginning and end. Yeah. The middle stretch of this game is an unmotivated Radiant quest pileup. Yeah. Like, it is so weird how much of this game is just go through a contextless place. Yeah. To do contextless things.
And like that is one of the major things that people complained about with Devil May Cry 2 when I was doing research on like the reception more broadly. And if you look at it, like, you know, 2 of the 5 games that were made in this series, like, do not match the fans' description of what they like hold dear about it. It's really weird. It's like Metroid.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, its identity is, you know, and if they were trying to, when they try to do more of that stuff to kind of try to appeal to that, you know, narrative side, if they're doing that to appeal to me, like, I imagine the person who really wants that narrative, but also really wants this kind of action is a fairly thin, Venn diagram. Yeah. Yeah. You know,
it's a small constituency to design for.
That's what it feels like to me. So you end up having these puzzles, as we mentioned. They're not puzzles. Right. They're secret missions, which are generally going into a door you've already been in or going somewhere it doesn't seem like you should go. To get a secret mission, which is like a little gimmick challenge. Like, kill this many things in this much time. Kill this many things. You have a clock down. You know, your health is going down. Get from this place to this place, that kind of thing. Yeah. There are a lot of them. If you do all of them, you get an alternate devil trigger that is really interesting, but you don't get it until the end of the game. I wanted to play with that because what it does is instead of giving you new moves, you stop time. Oh, wow. And I was like, that's really interesting. But it's only for New Game Plus, really, because you have to do all these things. I'm like, I'm not going to play New Game Plus. Yeah. And I wonder if that like messes with your ranking as well. Like, I wonder if that's something you could even do on, you know, Dante Must Die or whatever. Yeah. No idea. The footage I saw of it, you can do it on Dante Must Die. Because I wanted to see it in action, and I was looking up Dante Must Die stuff anyway. Gotcha. And the person who I was watching who was doing Dante Must Die got the thing. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. From what I saw, like the secret missions were the primary way to get purple orbs, which would raise your devil trigger. They would give you like a new kind of just a new maximum level for that, or the blue orbs, which are divided into quarters. It's like heart pieces. You find 4 of them, and then your health bar gets bigger. Yep, and of course money, which you can buy both those items as well. Yes, they get more expensive as you go, as you buy them, which makes sense. Let's talk about the aesthetics of this game. Like, it looks fine. Like, enemies have neat designs.
The music is good. I think that like stylistically and tone wise, this is very weird. It's weird and inconsistent.
Yeah. I don't know that I necessarily agree that the game looks good.
Okay.
I think it is too dark. There's something to this that applies to, my issue where I'm never sure if something is colorblind related. And I'm not definitely not playing that as any kind of card. Right. This could just be my eyes being idiots. But even the HD version, which is what I played, I think we both played.
Yeah, version. I played it on PS4. You played it on Switch?
Yes.
Okay.
Is dark and muddy, and enemies a lot of enemies that have lots of blacks and reds. And then this coupled with, the camera angle, I found readability to be a bit of an issue, in this, because of things not sticking out enough from the background. Like there would be individual frames where it just looked like a big pile of pixels, just like a big pile of garbage.
Yeah.
I think that some of the enemy designs in a vacuum are really cool. I think that the camera and the game is not set up very well for you to appreciate them.
Yeah.
Nothing is really framed. And something that is a continuous problem I had that I don't want to point out every time it happened. And in talking on the Slack and stuff, I don't think this is a problem other people had. It's just true to my experience. So I'm not necessarily levying this as a criticism against the game. But I come out of a door. I'm in the far background. Enemies are in the mid background and the camera is in the foreground.
Right.
And I cannot see Dante while I have to fight these things.
You can't see where you're at in relation to them. Yeah.
Yeah. It made me this is a later thing that I wanted to say, but it really one of the things about playing this that made me think is I maybe don't like this genre. I maybe think I do because of God Hand and Beautiful Joe, where they take that readability and it's God Hand makes it like Punch Out. The camera's always in the same place. Basically, and then Beautiful Joe is side-scrolling, so you can always see where you are in relation to everything. And that was a similar problem that I had in Bayonetta, if you recall. I was I can't always read what's going on the screen.
Yeah, Bayonetta just gets so small on the screen in relation to, the number of enemies that are there, in relation to the set piece that they're trying to highlight, and in relation to, the particle effects that are going on.
Yes. Yeah. It just becomes a mess to me. And it's contrary to that feeling of, coolness mastery. Which I bring up Dark Souls a lot because it's a game series I know really well. It's very different. A game based on fighting, readability is a huge concern for the worst bosses of Dark Souls. The best bosses of Dark Souls have really amazing readability. Yeah. And part of it is controlling the camera, having the camera between my character, not doing big group melees. Yeah. From a fixed distance. At its worst, this felt like a button masher like God of War, the first God of War to me. Yeah. And a lot of that was the look and the camera angle. It's better on the HD version. Things stand out more. The video I watched of Dante Must Die was on the PS2 version and it's real fuzzy. Yeah. And I'm like, man, how did we even get through this? This just looks like mud. This looks like absolutely just a big pile of mud smeared on the screen. Yeah. So I don't know if I can go with you on the game looks good. I think that it is too dark and too, I don't know. Yeah. It is hard for me to read this. Yeah. Too many reds and blacks.
Yeah. I will agree that it's on the dark side, and I can definitely agree with you on the camera. I think that, again, speaking to this as a transitional product, I think that the game is not really well served by a lot of the fighting taking place in these very tight interiors.
No.
Yeah. And you kind of run into a version of what happens in a Resident Evil game, which is there are certain camera angles that are just for show, but they are functionally useless for playing the game. They show you no information. And you want to try and stay out of the part of the room that fires those off. Here, you it's the same, it's kind of the same thing. In Resident Evil, when you're moving so slowly, you're not going to run into that very often. You can just kind of make a small little adjustment and you're not moving as much. Here, you're jumping around like a flea and you can get yourself into a place where you can't see anything, and that is just enough time for the enemies to surround you. Right. So I would find myself as part of my strategy, trying to keep the enemies and keep the fight in a good camera part of the floor so that I didn't get myself fucked over because you have no control over it. Yeah.
Fighting on the straddle line between two camera things is an absolute fucking nightmare in this game. Because so we didn't talk about, this controls, like, you know, the direction that you push is the direction you go in. It's not tank controls or anything. Which means that, like, when you if you're holding down to run towards the camera, and then you transition to where the camera is now behind Dante, as long as you're holding down, you'll continue in the same direction. But if you switch to pressing up, like, you'll kind of, like, you know, stagger for a moment.
Yeah.
To adjust, like, there's this inertia to the controls that happen when the camera switches. And that is a really kludgy solution, it felt like to me.
Yeah.
You know, when it works, but I just, you know, the way that, I guess like what I'm saying is that any individual asset in this game kind of looks good. The art direction and composition of any individual scene, I think, is actually extremely bad. In this game. Like I did not like it. I don't like those art angles you're talking about for Resident Evil are to a purpose. Like it's like, they're creating this horrific atmosphere.
Yeah.
This game does have like a degree, like a tiny smidge of atmosphere sometimes, but that's not what it's about. Like it doesn't need to be doing these art angles.
No, not at all.
I felt like.
Yeah. So I didn't have like as many of the readability problems as you were having with this. I generally could navigate a frame just fine, but I agree with you that it could have been brighter, and I agree that the camera definitely does work at cross purposes to you.
I think it's red. Like Dante's red coat does not stand out to me very well.
Oh yeah.
Red is not as high contrast of a thing. Like every once in a while, someone will do red font on white, and it destroys my eyes. Like it is so hard for me to read.
Oh wow, yeah.
You know, so I'm not getting as much red. Like I have some red, I can see red, but all those cones are not there. So I think that's probably what's at work, and that's not a problem with the game. This came out in 2001. So it's not. I'm not really mad about it, but it did impact my experience a lot.
Yeah, it's still a fact of playing the game. You know, and colorblind people represent what, like 11% of the population.
And growing. I'm making more every day. I've been slipping things into your water every time we do a convention. So I'm having stomach problems. Go ahead, Alka-Seltzer? Sure.
if I can't have cones, nobody can.
Yeah. Well, it's to steal your cones. After I give you the serum, you pee them out, and I set up a filter. I call the hotel, and then I drink the cones from the urine.
You're right.
So it's a whole thing I got going on to try to transfer my color blindness to you.
Oh man.
Yeah. So we should talk about the tone.
Right.
Of this, which is, a very specific kind of thing. And again, I'm going to be a grump and be like this. I don't find this as catnip as a lot of people do.
Yeah.
This is, the kind of like, I think a lot of people who love Dante, love him because he's like adorkable.
Yeah.
You know, like he's like a teenager's idea of cool.
Right.
You know, so teen feels are teen like Trapper Keeper drawings is a big, it's like if you made a whole game out of the Leon Kennedy who said, your hand comes off.
Right.
But it starts with that and ends with that. There's no like delicious transition from Resident Evil 4's serious tone to being chased by gigantic Mecha Napoleons. It's just, starts off over the top and then ends over the top, and that's kind of where it's at. Yeah.
It is specifically like the teen cool. It is the impulse that like made you put up a cutout magazine ad for a cool motorcycle on the inside of your locker door.
It's real Steve Brule. Like that's what I think of with this stuff right now. Like, cool, skateboards. It's Dante has big Steve Brule energy. He just doesn't have a speech impediment.
Right.
Skateboards.
I like butterscotch.
I like butterscotch. That kid stole my candy. Like that's basically Dante. Except he would say it like, sweet shop's closed. Or something like that, but it's basically the same impulse. Yeah,
he is definitely rolling around like it's a one-liner economy, and he is the Jeff Bezos of it. Is kind of how he feels. This is kind of combined with just a very heightened violence to it. Like his establishing moment when Trish comes in is her throwing a throwing a sword straight through his chest and pinning him to a floor and him getting up. So like they're leaning into like, oh yeah, he's indestructible and he will use that to demonstrate how cool and unflappable he is.
Yeah. If he showed up in any other series, you'd be like, who's this fucker and why is he like beating up Colossus? Like why this has, such huge like Mary Sue energy, but he's the protagonist. Mm-hmm. I understand and cause I always try to get it when something doesn't work for me. Talking to people on the Slack, like I understand and respect people for whom this is just like absolute catnip.
Yeah.
Like there are people which the tone for this is just like, this is totally my shit. This is a teenager who listens to Godsmack. I think that's hilarious and good, and to me, I don't think it's for me, anymore, as a thing. Like, I don't, no judgment. It's not for me. I don't think that's very cool. No, Dante is cool.
So like this game came out when I was 14 years old. So like it hit me right in the pocket, like I got this from Walmart at launch. My original copy still has the receipt in it because I'm that kind of weirdo.
You might have to take it back.
Well,
in the future, I'll have to claim this on my taxes.
No, I like keeping the receipts for things. I keep the receipts in the case so I can see when I bought the game, Gary. You clod.
Well, that's way more normal.
Okay. I'm wasted. I'm wasted on you is the thing. No. I was, and I was sufficiently into it, as like a 14-year-old, and it's at some point something in me shifted. And like, if I'm going to see something that's like over the top cool and stylish, I wanted to lean into full camp, like Bayonetta, where she's like dancing as she's killing demons and stuff. That version of this is cool to me.
Way more like Bayonetta is a way better character. Than this. Like I love the character of Bayonetta, even though the game was also fine to me. The character is great. Like it's funnier as well than this. Like again, I talked about how the cutscenes are only the beginning and end of this game. The way that I remembered it and the way people talk about it is that that's a huge part of the game.
Right.
Is the writing, and it's really not. It is barely present.
Yeah.
When we get to those parts, those like famous meme parts, like they are funny. Like the end of this did become kind of compelling in that way.
Yeah.
That kind of adorkable way. And my understanding is like the sequels go full out, Deadpool shoot 'em up.
Yes.
Kind of adorkable land.
Right. With the exception of 2, which people say Dante got too serious in. And then the reboot, which is, I think, an example of people taking these characters and their traits way too personally. In my opinion, I did not understand why people got so upset about that. But
no, I don't. I don't understand getting that upset about this thing at all.
Yeah. That wasn't an invitation for somebody to describe. I saw a bunch of takes. The game still looked fun. I like Ninja Theory.
Yeah. You're going to get this explained to you, brother.
I hope. Please don't. Please don't. With peace and love and all the goodwill in the world, I don't. I think these games are fine. I like them. I had fun playing this. It makes me want to play more. I don't need to understand exactly the way you engage with it. Please.
Sometimes saying you don't know something is not always an invitation for someone to educate you.
Right.
It's a good online lesson.
Yeah.
Like people can ask for information. It's not an implicit ask by being like, I don't know this. That's not I don't know is not a question.
Right.
Sometimes that's the end of a statement. It's okay. Like curiosity is good. You don't have to be curious about everything.
Right.
You don't have time on Earth.
No.
So this came up during a time when Capcom was trying to figure out the future of the Resident Evil series. In 1997, Capcom began developing Sengoku Biohazard, which is a spin-off of Resident Evil set in a ninja house in medieval Japan, which, interesting. But this was scrapped and turned into Onimusha Warlords.
Right. Yeah. And Onimusha was a game that Hideki Kamiya, the developer and designer of Devil May Cry, play tested. And famously, there was a bug early on in Onimusha, which is also a Resident Evil-like game that where you're sword fighting. right? Sort of fighting and throwing shurikens and stuff like that. There was a bug where as you attacked enemies, rapidly and repeatedly, you would juggle them in the air. And he said, oh, this is cool. Eventually that was patched out of Onimusha, but that kind of accident of coding came forward and kind of like was the kernel or was the seed crystal around which like this really acrobatic, combat style that Kamiya would eventually specialize in. That was how it formed. That was the seed for it.
Yeah. Yeah. This game began development in 1999. Shinji Mikami, tapped Hideki Kamiya to make Resident Evil 4. And originally started as this, starred a biotech enhanced protagonist named Tony Redgrave, who wakes up from the dead with extreme physical and mental skills. So basically they're trying to turn Resident Evil into the Resident Evil movies.
Right,
before
right.
Resident Evil movies came out.
The way that I looked at it was like, what if you played somebody with Wesker powers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kamiya, when he was putting this together, decided pre-render backgrounds probably are not going to be what cuts it for this. Onimusha had pre-rendered backgrounds. He decided to do the Code Veronica compromise where it was, dynamic camera in 3D, full 3D environments, kind of in order to follow and match this really heightened action. And they developed this for about a year when Shinji Mikami said, okay, this is cool, but this doesn't really match what we want a Resident Evil game to be. Can you make this its own thing?
Yeah. Surprising no one. Kamiya's main focus on designing the character was to be as cool as possible. Therefore, the long coat and dual wielding pistols and such.
Him not being a smoker. He thought non-smoking is cool. And I agree.
Yeah. Smoking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you love it, it makes you smell bad.
Yeah.
Do you want to just smell bad?
Yeah.
No.
I like going outside too, but you don't have to go out there. You don't have to smoke to do it.
No. Just take a little nature break.
Mm-hmm.
The idea being is if we made this guy incredibly badass, it'd be very empowering for the player.
Right.
Which is also the focus for like most character action kind of games. Like Bayonetta is more straight-laced cool than this. The Gentleman in God Hand has a little bit of this adorkableness to him, but is also pretty cool.
Right. Vanquish, Nier Automata, all those kind of things. He also consciously decided to make the game more difficult than other Capcom games or really other games were at the time, as a provocation against casual play, which was where they were at the time.
It's a great stance worth taking that will age really well. Being against casual play. Like why would you allow them to play
why would I
game?
want more people to buy my games?
Yeah, well, especially like women. Or like mothers or whatever. Fuck no.
Yeah.
Like this is for people who think Dante is cool.
Mm-hmm.
This is for teenage boys who like are saving up their pizza points to get a skateboard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know that Kamiya was saying every game needed to be this. I think that he just he wanted to make
a game for this audience and of that. Yeah.
We were joking and being hyperbolic. I didn't want anybody to misunderstand. Nuance is dead, Gary.
Nuance is totally dead. Even though Kamiya basically did make games that were this from now on.
Yes.
So I don't think that he wanted all games to be like this. He just wanted all of his games to be like
it's like this kind of game he wanted to make. And that's fine.
Yeah. Over and over and over.
Right.
So this is the progenitor of the character action genre. This predates like 2004's rebooted Ninja Gaiden.
Yep.
For example.
Yeah.
This has been re-released a few times, including part of a remastered trilogy that's available on current consoles, which is how we played it.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 sequels and a soft reboot.
Right.
A long-running series.
Yeah. Including Devil May Cry 5, which came out, was that earlier this year or was that 2019? We're in the event. Yeah, we're in the event horizon of a black hole, so it doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
No, it's all one big year. It's all 2020 minus 1, 2020 minus 2. 2020 minus 4 was really hard. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But
2020 minus 6. That was like a preview of 2020 minus 4. Yeah.
And 2020 plus 2 is going to be horrible.
Oh my God.
So run riots. So it's been ongoing for a long time. I have not played anything else in this series. At the time, I don't know why Devil May Cry 2 missed me. Mm-hmm. I think I remember liking this game, but maybe just not enough to pursue it. And then when everyone's like, oh, it's back in Devil May Cry 3, it just kind of didn't, like, one of the things about this game, like me coming away from it being like, maybe I'm not super into this genre, is that I believe everyone that says this game this series gets so much better. Maybe the best version of this is something I'm in a limited market for. Yeah. Like, as opposed to me thinking that I basically like character action games, I think this convinced me that I don't, but I like some entries. Yeah. Like I basically like Revengeance and God Hand and Beautiful Joe. And the rest of them I can basically just appreciate, but I don't really want to play a game that's just about fighting like this. Give me other stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm in a really similar boat. I think I'm warmer on this in general. I skipped Devil May Cry 2 because of the bad reviews that it got, which, I don't know. It's a reason to skip a game.
Limited time on Earth.
Yeah. And then like I dabbled in 3 and 4 before just kind of like taking a break from this kind of action-based game for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's somebody we were talking in the Slack, Gwen, Slack Stalwart, one of my favorites, made the argument like, hey, is Spider-Man PS4 a character action game? And character action, like those Arkham, Middle-earth, Batman, Spider-Man games have some character action DNA, but to me, I think that's what I want because the combat is not as deep, but it's deep enough and you do a lot of other stuff. Yeah. Like I got real fight fatigue in this game, even though this game tries to break it up by having you go pick up tridents and put them into doors. Like I'm sick of fighting stuff. Yeah. Show me a vista, show me a quiet part, show me something that requires my noggin. Like, just break it up. Yeah. And that's just, it's a real thing with beat 'em ups and character action games. Like you fight. That's what you do. And it has weird, one of the things that's interesting about this game is that Resident Evil DNA at the very least gives you interesting places to be in. Yeah. Like, remember those weird anonymous, like, public squares and hallways from Bayonetta? Yeah. Like, I'm in a big golden hallway. And I'm going to be in another big golden hallway later. Like, there's, at the very least, as much as this isn't, like, it's kind of a hybrid in a way that doesn't serve it, you're at least in a cool place with, like, suits of armor you can smash and a desk with scrolls and ink pots and shit like that. Yeah. That's what I associate with games that don't go as far into the action. And when you go really into the action, they're just arenas because the fighting is the only thing that matters. Yeah. Different. That is kind of a bummer to me. Yeah. So that's basically about it for the generalities. We're going to get into it. There are parts of this that will go by a little bit quick because there are like Devil May Cry ass encounters in this. Right. Where it's like bunch of puppets. Shit.
Yeah. Additionally, like get ready for us just to say, there's a place where a trident goes. So we're going to go look for a trident. Like not everything is going to be like motivated by cause and effect, really. The game doesn't. That's, I don't know how you would do that. Like doing the bonfire side chat season of this that talks about the lore of the trident receptors, like is incredibly strange thinking. Like it's non-extant. Yeah. If you're hearing this now, you are on the public feed of this. This is the end of the episode for the preview. If you want to hear the whole thing, including the specifics of this and a bunch of other back episodes, you can join us on patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv at $5 a month. It gets you all of the back episodes. Yeah. You can join for just a month or two and get all of the episodes and then, make a decision about continuing to back us. We designed it for that. Obviously we would like you to stick around, but it's important that you be able to, get a hold of everything. We're coming up on 19. This is going to be our 19th, 18th, something like that, special episode that we've done. Yeah. So you're getting a lot of content. We also do whole bonus shows and stuff at that level. Like the last thing we want is anyone to feel like they're not getting their money's worth. Like we understand people who can't afford it. If you can afford it though, we want to make you feel really good about that choice. Yes. We just really appreciate it. The other thing you can do is how we live. Yep. Do you want to see how please don't tell anybody how I live. This is how. So this is both of our full-time jobs. It also supplements the income of other people on the network who need it. Yep. So if you like what we do and appreciate us, it's a really meaningful way to help out, even if it's, just a couple bucks a month. Yeah. And whether or not you can swing that, be sure to tune in next week. We're going to have a dispatch episode. And then, after that, September's episode is back to regular, game episodes. Yeah.
Yep. Equally action-packed Lords of Magic.
Mm-hmm.
The real-time, turn-based, real-time with pause hybrid game.
I don't know. I'm still trying. I'm still trying to get it. I'll get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll take some time. I think that it looks cool. It just it's a.
It does take some time.
It requires more review than I'm used to giving.
It's a crunch. It's a crunchy one.
Yep. All right. Thanks. Bye.